Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis alone is a scary situation, but when accompanied by visitations of less than desirable entities, it just brings it up to a whole new level. Those entities can be shadow people, the old hag. Those are the ones that I have personally experienced. I really would not wish these experiences on anyone. So I came up with my own protection ritual, which I perform every night to prevent such occurrences from happening again. And I am more than happy to share them with people and really hope it can make a difference and you can feel calm and safe at night knowing that you are protected. When Googling, I did find that some 1.7 to 40% of people, I'm like, why 1.7 and not just like up to 40%? Anyway, of people do not have the hallucinations that accompany the sleep paralysis. Personally, the hallucination part really annoys me. If you've experienced it, let's just say it's one heck of a convincing hallucination. And the personal experiences that I'm about to talk about, they didn't just involve a visual hallucination, there was also touching involved. Yeah, I know, it is creepy. So the first time I experienced sleep paralysis and a shadow person, I think it was when I was a teenager, probably around the age of 15, 16 years old. I woke up in the middle of the night. I saw this person that I perceived to be a man at the bottom of my bed, and I thought it might be a burglar. And what I do when I'm experiencing sleep paralysis is I try to regain the movement in my body. And also, it's not just your muscles in your body. I can't speak, I can't make a sound, I can't make a little squeak or anything. So I do try and wiggle my toes and my fingers. And usually there is a feeling of resignation because you can't do anything. And I just pray. I was raised a Catholic girl. So sometimes I can't even remember the Our Father despite having to say it thousands of times. I literally just say the name Jesus in my head and I repeat it over and over again and I just pray for help. Despite being in this high state of fear, eventually I just fall asleep, which sounds like a bit of a contradiction, but maybe it's kind of like a switch off button because that level of fear can't be sustained for too long. So that's what happened the first time. I have had a visitation by the old hag. It's interesting, depending on where you are in the world, sometimes visitations by shadow people during sleep paralysis, or sometimes people call them demons, are more common than the old hag. I didn't even know the old hag was a thing until after this incident. I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay. So that was, I can't remember this one as clearly as the shadow people one because I did find the shadow ones more scary. But with the old hag, I remember waking up in the middle of the night. This is when I was in my 30s and I had a blank wall by my bed and I could see this old woman's face. She looked like a witch and she was in a picture frame and she was laughing, this really horrible cackle that would just send chills down your spine. It was scary. But then what happened, I was looking at this and it multiplied. I remember there being ultimately 3 of these animate portraits of this silhouette of a woman. And I think once again, for that to end, I eventually fell asleep. the scariest incident for me occurred during lockdown, and it was a double whammy situation. So I was asleep, I woke up, and I felt someone in the room. And I saw a figure. Once again, I perceived it to be a man. And I really did think, oh my goodness, somebody has broken into the house. And I was thinking, oh my God, I really hope they don't rape me or anything of that nature. And then it came towards me. And I remember that really scared me. I woke up fully, and then I fell asleep again. And this time, once again, I was seeing this figure at the end of my bed, but this time he crawled into my bed. I was lying on my side and he laid next to me. He was spooning me and he was hugging me. I could feel his arms around me. And then this is the touching part. It was really horrible. He then touched my chest, and I'm still at this point trying to figure out, is this real? Is this not? And I'm trying to regain movement. I am praying. I'm just repeating the name Jesus over and over again in my head. And I can't scream or anything. And then this bit is it's hard to explain. I felt he dissolved from his human form as such to a liquid, and it just stuck to my skin, and the liquid just, it's as though if you, I don't even know how to describe this. It's so foreign. It's as though it kind of just like, can't describe it. It's more akin to if you get a vacuum pack bag, and when you take the oxygen out of it, take the air out of it, and the way you see the plastic shrivel up, that's what it felt like. It felt as though it changed from the body form to a liquid over my skin, and then the liquid just dried or something like that. There was like this tightening of it. So for the first part of the ritual, I would say look at doing an energetic cleanse of your bedroom or wherever the sleep paralysis shadow person incident occurred. I would just employ some feng shui principles. I would make sure that you get as much sunlight in your bedroom as possible. I love the way I did that. I think that's opening the curtains. Open the curtains, open the window, get some fresh air in there, circulate the energy. Make sure that your bedroom's clean. Give it a hoover, a dusting. And if you have any clutter, this is the time. Get rid of it. It's stagnant energy. I also have a couple of furniture recommendations. One regarding mirrors. I would not have a mirror that is visible when you're lying in bed. Get rid of that. It's a bit creepy, let's be honest. And then having a chair that faces the bed, especially if it's empty, for me, that's a no-no. That's an invitation. That's an invitation there. So at the very least, change the angle of the chair so it's not facing the bed. What I would recommend is using some Palo Santo, which I personally love. I love the smell. And I would take a stick and I would burn it. What you want the smoke of the Palo Santo to cleanse the room. And I would go round the perimeter of the room, paying particular attention to the corners of the room. For some reason, that is where lower vibrational energy can accumulate. And when you're going around the room, I would suggest setting an intention or saying a prayer. I usually thank the spirit of the Palo Santo for doing what it's programmed to do, which is removing that low vibrational energy and replacing it with a higher frequency. I usually ask for that, for it to remove that low vibrational energy and to replace with a frequency of love. You can also use sage. I'm just not a big fan of sage. I don't like the smell, and the added benefit that Palo Santo has, it doesn't just remove the lower vibrational energy, it replaces it with a higher vibrational energy, which sage doesn't. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on sage, it's just, yeah, I have a preference, obviously. And while you're doing this, make sure the window is open, because you want that lower vibrational energy to have an exit. Okay, so keep that window open for a little while, please. Otherwise, I feel like you're just going to rile it up and it hasn't got anywhere to go. So remember, open window. If you cannot get your hands on any Palo Santo or sage, you can also just go into the corners of the room and clap. Do some like really loud, hearty claps to disperse the energy that has accumulated there. So now you have cleansed the energy of the room, you also need to do this for yourself. This is also just a really good pick me up on days where you encounter lots of different people, because we can pick up other people's energies. And really, at the end of the day, we're only designed to deal with our own energy field. So if you go into the office, you're on the tube, this is a great way of just raising your vibration. So with the Palo Santo, I set it alight, make sure it's smoking, and I draw an outline with the smoke around my body. And then I also encircle my chakras. I also set an intention, I say a prayer, and I ask for the Palo Santo to remove any lower vibrational energy and to replace it with a frequency of love. And I also take this opportunity to call back any energy that I expelled during the day. So I call for it to come back. So I'm just standing in the fullness of my spiritual power. So now you've done your room and personal energy cleansing. This is I'll say the second part. So now this is the part of the ritual I do every night. Every night I pray to Archangel Michael. So when giving some advice to a friend recently, she reached out to me because she was having some incidences at night when she felt a shadow person was coming into her room and sitting on her chest, constricting her breathing. Yeah, I know, nasty. So I told her, pray to Archangel Michael, and she was like, who's that? What's going on? So just doing a little Google research, the AI overview describes him as such. Archangel Michael is a significant figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, often depicted as a warrior and protector. He is considered the chief of angels in some traditions and is known for his role in fighting against evil. Frankly, you want this guy on your side, okay? And I love the way that he is known across several religions, because I always find that really validating. I feel there's universal truths out there, so the more they are spread across different religions, I'm like, yes, that's good. So usually my prayer would be along the lines of praying for myself and for my partner and a few other people, and I pray for Archangel Michael to protect us. Oh, excuse me. To protect us on the astral and physical realms. What I do afterwards is I pretend that it's kind of like I have a huge paint roller, but you're not using it to apply paint, you're using it to apply light. So I imagine the walls of the room, and we're talking about a huge paint roller here, and I just roll the light onto the walls, on all four walls, and I say afterwards, only energy that is for the benefit of my higher self may enter. Energy that is not bounces off harmoniously, dissipates, and returns to the light. I'm really sorry for anyone who is going through this, and I really hope that my process, or at least some elements of it, will help relieve or fully stop these experiences. If any questions, please leave them below and I will get back to you.